Yeah, we get it. You're excited about generative fill, sky replacements, and literally photos from a freaking text prompt. But there's a better way to use AI, in my opinion, and we're going to be talking about that today. I'm talking about how we can use AI today to get better with our cameras and in our editing programs. The way AI is going to do this for us is it's going to critique our images. We're going to show it our images and we're going to ask it for critiques on composition, lighting, exposure, contrast, color harmony, anything that you can think of. It probably can critique it. And that's right, instead of bugging family, friends, your favorite influencer on Instagram, now we can get AI to do that for us. And honestly, it probably hurts a little less coming from an AI. I'm going to call this an emerging use case for large language models for photographers because it's not fully there yet and there's a lot of caveats, but it's definitely a helpful tool. First, let's start off with what AI we're using. We're going to be using Google Bard. The reason for Google Bard, it's the only AI language model at the moment that can actually lets you upload images and can see what's in the images. So it's simple as this. We're going to go to bard.google.com. We're going to press the plus button and we're going to upload a photo here, and we'll just ask it to critique it. And it will spit out a critique. Beautiful. So it critiques the image. So it will say, it'll generally, how it goes, it describes the image a bit, and it will give you suggestions on how to reshoot it, how to edit it, that sort of thing.
So as an example of what we're looking at, here's a photo I uploaded of a crocodile. And I said to the AI, I'm editing this photo. Any suggestions for the edit based on where the image is currently at? The AI responded, sure, here are a few suggestions for editing the photo of the crocodile in the water. Add some contrast in the image. This will make the crocodile stand out against more of the background water. You can do this by adjusting the brightness, contrast, and shadows in the image editor. Add some depth to the image by blurring the foreground. Add some color to the image. The image at the moment is quite monochromatic, so adding some color will make it more visually appealing. And crop the image to make it more focused on the animal. So I took that critique and I went in and I edited that photo and I added some more contrast as it suggested, and I got a better result out of it.
It's really as simple as that. As you can see, this is a very general overview and isn't very in-depth. So I'm going to share with you 5 ways to get better results out of this system and 4 downsides of the system. And stick around for those downsides because if you don't, you're going to have some weird results. Now, tip number 1 to get the most out of this system is to be specific. Be specific about what you want critiqued. So if it's your editing, say, I want my editing critiqued. If it's your composition, say, I want my composition critiqued. As an example, I'll upload the same photo. Can you critique my edit of this photo? And it will be more specific about the editing of the photo and what can be changed. This is very important to get the best results out of it because as a general rule of thumb, Bard is going to try to be really nice to you and you've really got to kind of push it to give proper critiques. If you're not specific, it's going to generalize and be really nice about its critiques and say, great job, but like this tiny little thing, you need to be specific so that it knows. So here, for example, it's saying that the sun's too bright, it makes it difficult to see the details in the church. The shadows are too long, so it's hard to see. The colors are a bit oversaturated. Now, obviously, I can take this on board now and make adjustments to how I see fit. Obviously, I'm not going to agree with all of it, and it's your artistic interpretation at the end of the day, but it gives you a good starting point and a resource to go, yeah, maybe I did edit that wrong. Maybe I can reduce the brightness a bit, that sort of thing. Tip number 2 is it's a two-way conversation. It's a large language model. Like let's say, for example, it said it's very flat and it needs more contrast. Well, then I can ask it again and type in a prompt, what's the best way to increase the contrast? And it'll respond with, you can use the contrast slider or the tone curve. It's a two-way conversation, so you can always ask it questions, ask it why it thinks a certain way to get better critiques about your images. Now, following on from that, tip number 3 is to tell the AI to elaborate on its points. If it mentions something that's interesting to you, maybe tell it to elaborate. Or if it's being too general and overall and it's not giving you enough critiques, just ask it, can you elaborate? Is there any other critiques that you see? And it will generate more and more until you're sort of getting an idea of where the deficiencies in your photos may be. Tip number 4 is to make the AI role play a little. So these AIs don't love being critical. They love to be happy, you did a great job. But the best way to actually get real critiques out of them is to kind of role play a little. So you can tell the AI, hey, you are a photography teacher and you are marking the final image for the class. Here's the image, give it a grade and give me critiques and where it can be improved. That kind of thing. Or you can say, you took this photo, how can you improve going forward? That kind of stuff. Anything that will get the AI into like a story style mode is going to get you better results because it's going to kind of turn off its filters a little bit more. It'll give you better critical feedback. And my number 5 tip to get the most out of this system is to start a new chat with every photo and every critique. Because if you're going bang, 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 multiple photos one after the other, it can kind of get hung up on critiques from other images and start to like trickle into the critiques of other images that you're uploading. So every time you're giving it a distinct new photo, I would start a new chat. That way it's starting from fresh and giving you fresh feedback. So now let's get into the cons of using this system. Currently, it will not accept any photos with people in it, period. It will just straight up delete the photo and go, nope, I can't do anything with people, which sucks. So any portrait photographers, this is not going to work for you. I have managed to get it to critique one image where a person was in it, but it was a silhouette and I guess it just went past its detection. Anything with a face in it, or even like people as a subject, even if it's their back, like this photo that I uploaded, it will just straight up refuse. So if a person is one of the main subjects in your photos, this is not a method you can use. The other con is regarding the two-way street. Often when you're getting it to critique your images, you might go and tweak those images and re-upload them to the AI and be like, how do you think of it now? I've acted on some of your changes. And it will instantly think, regardless of what you upload, that you've acted on every single change and you've done it a great job. I literally uploaded the same image to it twice and said, I made some of your changes. And it went, oh, that looks great. I see that you cropped it, you changed the colors, you changed the contrast. It's looking awesome. So in terms of going back and forth, I would keep it purely to text. Don't re-upload a new edit to the AI and expect it to see the difference. For some reason, it just flat out doesn't. Number 3, hallucinations, which is a term for when the AI gets something absolutely wrong. Often you'll see this with horizon leveling, like even if a horizon is level, when it's critiquing a composition, it will say, hey, your horizon's not level, it's a very beginner mistake, it's easily fixed. And sometimes it's just wildly incorrect. Like if you're getting a really weird critique about an image, like, oh, it's way too saturated, and you're looking at it and like, no, it's not. Or like the subject being red is blending in with the background and you're going, there's not even red in this image. Just ask it to describe the photo if you're getting any weirdities. Yeah, so for example, this image here, I uploaded to the AI and it started to give me some weird feedback. It started saying that the car was taking too much of the frame and the contrast is a bit low and the color in the image is a bit blended. I thought it was a bit odd. And then I asked it to describe the image for me. And it said it shows a red car driving down a windy road flanked by trees and bushes and the sky is clear and blue. Like it's got some of the aspects, but like I don't see a red car. Hallucinations are definitely a big problem. Use your head a bit with these critiques. Sometimes the AI is just off on a tangent, or sometimes it doesn't understand like a slow drag shutter. It doesn't understand why everything isn't in focus and like the background's blurry, but there's a subject in focus. Take everything with a grain of salt. Now, this is a fast moving subject matter. AI is advancing by the week, by the day. This video is probably outdated by the time I even get it out. So if you want to stay up to date, I'll probably make more videos like this. So hit the subscribe button. And if you want to learn a bit more about why an 8GB card makes me a better photographer, check out my last video here.